everyone, and a very warm welcome to Bay Area Women's Toastmasters meeting. Today is our third workshop from the AI workshop series, so we are all excited. My name is Aarti, and I am your surgeon at arms for today. So, a few housekeeping rules I would like to go over. Please have your cell phones on mute all the time. Also, on your Zoom, please mute your microphones unless you're speaking. Also, rename yourselves with the roles that you have today. So with that, we will begin our meeting today, and I would now like to welcome our President, Shalini. Shalini, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Aarti. Hello, Toastmasters and guests. Welcome to the Bay Area Women's Toastmaster Club today. So, Toastmasters is all about building public speaking skills, leadership skills through hands on activities. And we are here building confidence. AI is a hot topic nowadays, and everyone is talking about it. So, you might be wondering why we are organizing AI workshops. Well, the Bay Area Toastmasters, Women Toastmasters Club, can become a catalyst for women's empowerment, professional development, and leadership in AI. At the same time, helping all the women with public speaking skills, confidence in AI topics, and leadership skills. So let's begin with our third workshop in this series. And our Toastmaster for today is Ramya Prabhakar. Over to you, Ramya.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. It's an honor and pleasure to welcome our speaker today. Let's welcome AI legal strategist, Angeli Raven Fitch.
Hey, thank you. Can all of you hear me okay?
Yeah, we do.
Well,
She's
first
going to
of all,
talk.
oh, you weren't done yet? Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's all right. I have a quick intro. She is going to talk about empowering women leaders to use AI for smarter decision making, efficient problem solving, and stronger organizational impact. Angeli Raven Fitch Esquire is a California employment attorney specializing in AI workplace compliance. She's also a public speaking coach to attorneys and business leaders prepared to rethink how a lawyer thinks. Angeli isn't here to bore you with gray suits and cases. She operates at the thrilling intersection of law, technology, and real life. A California employment attorney by trade, she's dedicating her talk to empowering women leaders, showing you exactly how to leverage AI for smarter decision making, hyper efficient problem solving, and stronger organizational impact. Whether she's stripping down complex AI ethics for attorneys or making ChatGPT accessible and fun for boomers, Angeli's mission is simple. She'll help you navigate the AI world without losing your mind. Presenting Anjali.
Well, thank you so much for that. So, just in terms of time-wise, I believe that this goes for an hour, right? So until 8 o'clock. Is that correct, Shalini, Madam Toastmaster? Okay. So
Yes,
I
it
don't
is.
think that there's any particular timer with this. I'm not, so I'm not giving
Be the
a,
timer. I can be the timer. You let
you-
me know how much time you will take for a presentation. Maybe 20 to
okay.
30 minutes.
Well, first of all, I'm not really doing a presentation per se. This is going to be very interactive. So but I'm mindful of the time too. So I'll be talking, I'll be doing it kind of an introduction. I'll share my PowerPoint, and then we will engage in dialogue. So that's
Okay.
how I'd like to do this one. For me, like sitting and listening to somebody do a presentation for an hour, I'd probably fall asleep. So first of all, so thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Let me start by saying that I have a very special origin story with how I got involved into AI. If somebody told me that I was going to be an AI ethics attorney at this point, I would say you're crazy. I didn't grow up with social media or cell phones or any of that stuff. I'm a boomer. I didn't grow up with that stuff. But where the origin story happened? Some of you might have been there watching me. But last year, the 2024 World Championship of Public Speaking for Toastmasters, I gave a speech called Replaced by Sophia. in which I talked about a true story, because I'm also a voice actor, in which my voice was replaced by AI. So I was fired, and Sophia took my job as the voice of this healthcare brand. And then it didn't work out with her, so I was rehired. And since I did that speech last August, I don't know what happened, but first of all, I joined the AI club that Satish is in, and I just started immersing myself into AI, and I started connecting with hundreds of people on LinkedIn about AI, and then I found myself teaching AI ethics to attorneys. And I would say that how I define myself in AI is that I'm a non-tech AI person. So I don't know how many of you can relate to that. I'm a communicator. If you're trying to come to me for tech advice on apps or any of that, no, I don't know that stuff, but I can communicate. And what I love doing with lawyers is I love telling them how they're using AI irresponsibly and unethically and how they might lose their license. Like, that's my favorite thing to do because it concerns me. It concerns me a lot. And what's interesting is that as women, we don't have a voice in AI. Our adoption with AI is 22% less than men. And I found this to be true with women being hesitant in the space with women lawyers who they were afraid to use AI. They were afraid to talk about AI. There's just a lot of fear around women using AI. So I started to become very, very passionate. And before I share my PowerPoint, I'll say that for how many of you are in California? I'm just looking at California. Okay, Satish, I know you're in Texas. Oh, my camera's moving. Okay, so most of us are in California. Well, the interesting thing is that California, the last study that I saw, was number 2 in adoption behind Maryland. That's pretty interesting. The second leading state. So we're leading the country, but we're number 1 right now when it comes to regulation. We've had I think something like 183 laws that the governor signed, or bills that the governor signed into law this year. So it's an interesting thing that California represents, a progressive state. We want AI, but then at the same time, the regulation. And I'm curious, I'm just curious about this path. So okay. So let me share. And then, like I said, I will be, as I'm sharing, I'll be pausing to see if there's any questions, or if anybody has any questions really at any time that's kind of relevant to whatever I'm happy to be talking about, raise your hand or just start talking, because I don't mind. Madam Toastmaster, if you have a preference, because I know this is your club, maybe I'm overstepping, but that's just, if I was with all of you in person, that's how I would be doing this. It's less of a presentation format and more of a dialogue. Okay.
Angeli, I
So-
just want to say I listened to your speech, and I also include a clip to my club, and that was a great speech. So there is still hope for the rest of us.
Sharon, is that you, Sharon?
That is me.
Sharon, District 101.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, nice to see you. It's so nice to see
Yeah.
you.
I
Yes.
saw your name. I was like, I got to be here to support Angeli.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate all of you. So let's start over here and tell me if you do. Okay. Why do I see me? Okay. Did I press the wrong thing? Anybody?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
now it's fine.
Okay, good. Yeah, I did warn you that I would not call myself a tech person. Okay, so hold on. Let's play it from the start.
Right.
Okay, that's nice. Just a second. Okay, yeah, you already heard the intro here. Okay, so, and I'm going to be asking you some questions about women. Where are the women in AI? Well, women are using AI 25% less than men are. 25% less than men are. We're going to talk about the challenges that women have And I want to hear from those of you that want to participate, any challenges that you have with AI, and then just some problems and some strategies. So we're going to keep it really, really simple. So just a few statistics. 22%, and this is global stats, of women are in AI, and there's about 300,000 AI specialists around the world, and 18% of AI researchers worldwide. That's a very small percentage. Yeah, it is, huh? Oh, good. Oh, I can see when I look over here. And less than 14% of senior executive roles. So can I see again, because when I look over here, how many of you that are women, so Satish, you're not allowed to participate in this, but how many of you are in AI, are working in AI? And okay, and Shalini or Madam Toastmaster, if you can just like say, oh, there's 8 of us, or because I can't see everybody. How many of you?
I don't see
The
raised hands
majority.
either.
So not
I
very
see 3
many
of us.
Whatever, maybe 2 or 3.
I
Yeah.
see 3, 4 hands raised.
in AI. And can I ask you, for those of you that raised your hand, just really briefly, what area of AI? What are you doing in AI? Just really quickly.
So I create a lot of content using AI. Most of my communication happens through AI.
Okay, so you use, okay, and thank you, because what I meant by in AI, and I should define my terms, you're working in AI, so you're either working for an AI company, not using AI, but in the industry. So thank you, Shalini. You just reminded me. So anybody else that you're working, let's say you have an AI type of position?
Ashley?
Yeah, because I can't see. Ashley? Ashley, are
Do you
you
want to go
muted?
off mute?
Sorry, I work as a contract worker for Google, which is like a temporary AI worker. I've had 2 of those jobs, so I work as a UX writer for Gemini right now.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you. And because I can't see, Madam Toastmaster, I think you had your hand up.
Yeah. I work as a project manager, as a contract project manager for ServiceNow, and one of the work streams I manage is the AI work stream.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Anybody else?
So I don't work in AI, but in my company I use AI for a lot of my daily operations,
Okay.
making documentations,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then preparing graphs and charts. I use AI.
That's fantastic. It's fantastic. Awesome. Okay, let me just move along here. Here. Okay, so I want to touch on the top 3 fears, and I'm sure that there's many more, and please participate with me here. The top 3. So, and this is what I've seen with many women lawyers as well too. The fear of being judged as less competent. So some of the women lawyers that I talked to, they said that, you know, they have already been having such a hard time, you know, at the law firm trying to prove how smart they are, that if they were to use AI, that they would be fearful that they would be judged for it, that they're not as smart. Do any of you, any of you run into that issue?
I think we're encouraged to use more of it.
Use more of it? What did you say,
Or,
Sharon?
yeah, that's what I said. I said that we've been encouraged to use more of it, not just for meeting notes, but real interactions with AI, uploading files, ask them to summarize the results.
That's
And
fantastic.
so kind of use that to do the first step analysis, or kind of do the trending, and then we verify the results, or the analysis part of it.
That's fantastic. I'm glad to hear that, because I've heard mixed things from different companies. It seems like, do you work for a large corporate? I think you work for a large company, right,
Yeah.
Sharon? Yeah.
Mhm.
I think some of the larger corporations, the larger companies are encouraging people to use AI, but a lot of the smaller companies, I see the same thing in the legal industry. There's just a lot of fear around it. And there's a term called shadow AI. Does anybody know what shadow AI is?
I have not heard of
No.
Okay.
Even
So
hello.
so shadow AI is not exclusive to the legal industry, but what it is, it's when people are using AI secretly, and how it's been showing up in law firms, because I've had to deal with some workplace investigations and things like that, and unfortunately, a large portion of people, employees that were doing shadow AI were women. And so what would happen is that they wouldn't tell anybody that they're using AI. And the number one reason is because there was no AI policy. And if there's no AI policy, if the company does not have a policy basically telling you what you can use, what AI you can use, what AI you can't use, and really defining, responsible AI use, then people are going to just use whatever they want to use. And what happened in this particular case is that this associate, she was just hired on. She didn't, nobody was really talking about using AI. So she took work home with her because, she wanted to meet the deadline. She used ChatGPT. She used the paid version of ChatGPT. And in the paid version of ChatGPT, under the data controls, she had turned it off so that what she's using is not going to be used for training. And then she also thought, well, I'll just delete all the chats after. And she went ahead and she put in confidential information about the client case that she was working on. And to make a long story short, she breached the duty of confidentiality. She got into a lot of trouble when she was first confronted by her supervisor. She lied, which is even makes it worse. So anyway, so that's what shadow AI is. It's like I said, it's a big problem, especially with companies that don't have any kind of AI policy, which in my experience is in fact, let me look out at you. How many of you work for a company that has an AI policy? I wish that I could see all of you, but so Shalini or Madam Toastmaster, how how many of you? I can't see the majority. Ashley, are you trying to say something? Or so somebody that has
Two,
somebody
three, four hands
four hands.
raised.
Okay, you know what? Because I don't want him to feel excluded. Satish, go
I
ahead
can't
and
dissertation.
Satish,
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
want you to feel excluded. I want, because
Yeah,
I am an inclusive person. Can you tell me, and I know you know a lot about AI, so tell me about the AI policy at your
yeah.
company.
Yeah, well, first of all, we used to have a lot of shadow AI projects, which means people would use AI tools all over the place with no specific guidance or any restrictions on how to use those AI tools. That was the first phase. But
Mm-hmm.
then they and like you described shadow AI, that's how I see it, right? Where people are using whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
which means the companies are exposed to a lot of risk, right? Because they could be inputting proprietary and confidential information
Yes.
potentially into those tools. And so
Yes.
that's a big problem. So the company then very quickly, after about 6 months of this, when this is when ChatGPT was released, about 6 months after that, the company realized all these shadow AI projects going on across the company and set up a AI board of sorts, right? AI policy board that had to
Mm-hmm.
approve any tools, any projects that occurred across the company. So since then, IT has also put in place. They can track what's
Mm-hmm.
happening on people's laptops. And
Mm-hmm.
if they install any tools that are not in compliance, then the AI
Yeah.
police will come after you. So there
Mm-hmm.
is strict guidelines now in place. The company has provided a version of ChatGPT-like tool to
Hmm.
us, so a Copilot-like tool that they created inside the company
Interesting.
to say, listen, you don't need ChatGPT because we'll give you a tool that's better than ChatGPT, but it's safe to use, it's fully governed, it has guardrails, you cannot enter any
Mm-hmm.
proprietary information,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Right? So that's how we are managing it, and we are very successful because We have been doing this for the last 2.5 years, and we have not had any incidents. We have not shown up on the front page of the newspaper. We have 27,000 employees that are using these tools. So it's a very large, sizable company.
Wait, how many thousands?
27,000.
There's 27,000
Yeah.
at your company? Wow. Okay, well, thank you so much for that, Satish.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Madam Toastmaster, and like I said, you guys will have to help me because I can't on this screen. I can only see like just a few people. Madam Toastmaster, is there an AI policy at your office? And how many? First of all, how many employees?
So I work for a company that has about 400,000 employees globally.
Oh my God.
But the client that I work for has over 27,000 full-time employees. So it's a sizable number there as well. And
Wow.
at both of these places, we have very strict guidelines in place. We have our company approved AI assistants that we can use, which is primarily Copilot. But it is within our specific instances. So all of our data guardrails are in place.
Mm-hmm.
And we are strongly encouraged to use these tools in our
Yes.
day-to-day work.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. I think that I encourage women to be on the AI policy committee because in many situations with these companies, even the much smaller companies, they form an AI policy committee, and I would love it for more women to get involved and to have a say in it. I think
think
it's extremely important. I'm sorry.
Sharon says they have the same policy at their company as well.
Oh, the same policy. Okay. So I think that it's important for women to be on these AI policy committees. And even if you are just, a one woman, one man, operation, when I was teaching my class yesterday to lawyers, somebody had asked me a question. Well, it's just me. I don't need to have an AI policy. I would say you should still have an AI policy. It can just be one page. You should train yourself on what AI that you're using. You should document everything because at least in our state of California, and I'm sure it's going to hit all the other states, the regulations are coming. And if you're using AI in any way with any of your clients and there's any possible, discrimination or anything, you need to have documentation. So it's a good idea. And there's lots of, free resources out there. For example, the California bar exam. And the San Francisco Bar Association, and you don't have to be a lawyer to go on there. They have, they have AI policies. I know the Society of Human Resource Management. There's all kinds of resources out there for you to even just draft your own, or have AI, your favorite AI tool help you draft something. But you should have something in writing. You should have a paper trail. Some kind of trail as to how you're using AI because the regulations are coming. So anyway, so I want to move on from that. And then we have less trust and then the ethical concerns about how AI is being used. So, okay. And then what women are using AI for, and this is just the top 3 that I got. So content creation and communication. So women are using this, and I'm sure men are too. So writing emails faster, creating marketing copy, social media posts, blog content, summarizing articles, reports, editing documents, translating content into multiple languages. And why are they doing this? Well, because it's saving a lot of time. And it also will allow you to focus on strategy and client relationships instead of repetitive writing. Oh, this makes me think of something too. One of the firms that I worked with, and I'm saying law firm, but it applies to all businesses, the law firm assumed that they needed AI tools in order to be more efficient. So what happened is that I recommended, so I work with AI, 3 or 4 different AI engineers. So I had an AI engineer do an audit for this law firm, and it turned out the AI tools were costing the law firm money. All they needed was automation, which is different. Please don't ask me to explain that. But they didn't need AI tools, they needed simple automation. And so, what I would say is that make sure as women, in AI, women using AI, first of all, have an understanding of what the AI tool is supposed to do, but also understand what is it, where are you right now in your business? Where do you want to go? And is it really necessary for the AI tool to get you there? Now, I'm not talking about the simple use of, okay, I'm going to use ChatGPT to look this up, or I'm going to use my, use some other tools to help me with some stuff. I'm talking about if you're either working for a company or your business is heavily relying on AI, I would just really urge you to get an AI audit. Let me ask any of you, have any of you been through an AI audit or have heard of an AI audit? No, you have not done. Satish?
Yes, we actually do audits often across the company, especially as in the first few months of either a new process or a new application being launched. There is a audit that's done because it's not a mature process. There's breakages, etc. By the way, I heard you talk about automations. Right, I work for one of the largest software automation companies in the world, and we do see for those that might not know, how what this automation thing is all about, right? It's basically taking, the simplest definition of it is to look at repetitive processes that are high volume and make those processes work without human intervention, essentially, right? That's the simplest form of automation there is, right? So anyway, automation is a part of what AI can potentially do. If you've heard of large action models, not large language models. Most of us know about large language models, but now with agentic AI, you also can work with large action models that
What's it? Can you just say really quickly, because I'm not familiar with what a large action model does.
So large action models are those that can actually see most. So AI, if you think about AI, it's analogous to the brain, right? For the longest time, it has been analogous to the brain. Automation has been analogous to hands and legs, right? Somebody to do the work. Now, if you think about large language models, it is more about the thinking part. It's about insights. It's about, right? But large action models are to actually drive action instead of just thinking. Somebody has to say, here's what needs to happen for this task to complete, right? A series of steps. So who defines those steps? How does AI know what those steps are? And will it execute it reliably, right? So all those things can happen if there are large action models also available.
I'm going to put you on the spot for a second since you're talking right now, and you're extremely knowledgeable about AI and the tech and everything. What's your opinion as to why more women do not have a voice in AI? Because and then and all of us women, we can ask questions, hopefully, if you want to ask a question, but I'm just curious as to why more women are not in the field, in your opinion, and have a voice in AI. Because I don't want to be in a situation where it's the men running the show. Like, where are the women? Like, it really does concern me. And that's why I got involved in AI in the first place as a lawyer, because I wanted to make sure that men were going to be held accountable, So I was just curious as to what your opinion is.
I have to say, I worked on a team where my chief strategy officer is a woman, one of the smartest women I know, and one of the smartest people I know, not just woman, right? And she probably has some of the best insights in the world, in our world, right? If you will, our company for sure. And and then the person leading the commercialization effort for our AI solutions is a woman, right? So, I mean, I see that I think it's a few things, right? One, a lot of engineers tend to be men, whether we like it or not. And so out of those people, a subset of those have become AI experts, if you will, right? Perhaps. Right. So there is that carries over because majority of engineers are men, and then some of those engineers have become AI experts, or there are people. Engineering in general, right, has more men than women. It's just a fact going back in time. The other thing is, I think, with that as the backdrop, then you start to see a lot more people, in leadership positions also tend to be men around AI, right?
Yes,
I think maybe it's confidence. I don't know.
I think
I've not
so.
really thought about it that much, but I think it could be confidence. It could be, most of the engineering talent tends to be dominated by men, and as a result, I think a lot more they are more confident as a result, right? Let's say you walk into a room, there are 9 men and one woman. I mean, it's probably a little
It's
off
probably
that.
confidence. Did you ever read
Yeah.
that article? It was a really interesting article about how men, even though they won't know anything, they're still going to just act confident, even though they don't
Yeah.
know anything. So I just,
That's
no, I completely get it. And, I want to ask some of any of the women in the group that want to engage in dialogue with me. I felt like getting involved in AI because I'm not a tech person. I'm not confident at all about the actual technology and what different things mean. However, I don't want to be using a technology that I have no say in. Like I need to know what is it that I'm using, who created this, and what is the purpose of this. I'm just wondering, are there any other women that, when you think about AI, you don't feel so confident about it, or if you do, can you share that?
I wanted to say something. So I had been struggling with creating an app using AI. Okay. So I have been trying. I was able to create a very small app, but for the next app, I was unable to do. And I was only able to do it when I talked to somebody, a man, and figured it out. Even though AI is there to help you, right? I can actually go to AI and ask for help, which I did, but I was not able to understand and fully execute it. So I was wondering, how did he know? Because he must have also learned it the same way I was trying to learn. And then I see all these courses coming up from different universities, learn AI. I think I should join them. And then I say, no, AI is there to make a plan for me. Maybe I should. So I've been shuttling between the two thoughts to learn more about AI.
That's so interesting.
I don't know how men learn that. Maybe because they are in the office in a very technical environment, they learn from each other. I am working from home, means isolated, trying to do things on my own. That could be also one of the challenges.
Can I share one of
I
my thoughts, Shalini?
Yes, please.
I think all of us here are very powerful, super talented, and super smart. So at work, I was a part of this program management team. There were 4 of us. And I was very frustrated with one aspect of it. It was we're trying to do this hardware upgrade, and there were a lot of problems. But all the issues were kept in Teams chat. And then, so I was kind of scrolling through it one by one, right? Then I found out I had a little session with my co-program manager. She said, Sharon, that's too much work. I just grabbed the whole thing, the Teams chat, and then put in the AI tool, asking
Yeah.
to summarize. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? So she goes, did you see the icon? That AI icon? So she said, use it, babe. Don't just let it go to waste. So like, because she showed me that, right? So I'm like, oh gosh, it really saved me some time. So I think a lot of
Yes.
times when someone shows me something, I will learn better.
That's good. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think Ashley, did you have
Ashley.
your hand up? Ashley?
I had my hand up, but it's kind of gone by what we were talking about, but I was just thinking how my friend and I built a coach to try to help women get confidence, because we figured out that the main difference between men and women, in our opinion, with confidence, because they have studies that also show, similar to what someone was just saying, that if men aren't qualified for the job, they still
Yes,
apply, but women don't. So
Yes, that's
I kind of think that it can account for a lot of things, maybe.
absolutely. Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes.
so
I'm glad
recently.
I'm not the only one that feel, I mean, it is great to say I am confident. I'm confident, but if it's something that I don't really understand, so, well, I want to share a really quick story before we move up. First of all, Ashley, did you have anything else?
No, it's just once I learned that, I started applying for jobs, even if I didn't feel confident.
Then you just act confident. So I went to my first vendor demo. So and this was on behalf of a law firm. And so there's a vendor that was going to talk to me about this new app for the law firm. And so I was talking to him. He was a salesman. And so I started, I was kind of nervous and I started asking questions. And I said, okay, so why don't you explain to me exactly, where is this information going? I need to see the audit trail. And he looked at me like, you don't need to understand that. Do you want me to explain it to your boss over there? Or I was like, what the? Anyway, I started asking him questions. What it turned out is that he's a salesperson. He actually didn't know what I was talking about because I had this list of questions that my AI engineer and cybersecurity expert had told me to ask him. Um, but I don't know. I didn't feel confident. I didn't feel, I felt somewhat insecure. But then I finally stood up for myself. And by the end, I said, sounds like you're just trying to make a buck here, and this is a big red flag. If you can't even tell me where this audit trail, where this information is going, then we're not going to get this app. So even though I didn't, what he was saying to me, it sounded like a bunch of nonsense, but I didn't have the confidence to really say more than that because I didn't feel like I knew enough. So anyway, okay.
I
Well,
think you hit the nail on the head, Angeli. I think this is my observation too in my most recent interactions. We are very hesitant to ask questions for fear of judgment.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yes. And I have to say that first of all, I was very nervous in coming to talk to all of you because, you're women, even though I can't see how many. I saw Satish, but I don't know if there's any other men, or there's going to be some men watching this maybe later. But because I really care about women, and I wouldn't say that because I'm still very new to AI. And like, there's a part of me that's resistant to say, well, I'm this expert in AI. I'm a woman, I'm an attorney. No, I don't see myself like that. I still see myself as somebody that's just learning. I'm just learning about it. So, I better move on. So I created this. So this is an approach that I created. I created it with all of you in mind, not the men, and it's called Grace. I did create this specifically for women. Yes, I did. And I didn't use AI. I used AI later to help me with some things, but Grace is my favorite name. If I had a daughter, I would have named her Grace, but it's such a beautiful name. So, grounded, responsible, aware, confident, and ethical. So, I wanted to go through each of these. And like I said, I have very minimal use of my PowerPoint. I don't like to crowd it with information, but grounded, the human AI connection. So, what I want to say about this is that I don't know about you, but I immediately started feeling like there is going to be a problem. Like, after using ChatGPT when it first came out and when I started to learn about AI, I immediately saw that there was going to be an issue with people having an emotional connection with their AI. I don't know. The movie Her came out and everything, but now, I don't know if this is a female thing, but a lot of my women friends, you know, they say the same thing to me, and people think I'm crazy, but I really see that there's going to come a time very soon where the law is going to have to evolve or change because people are going to want to marry their humanoid robots, or they're going to, because it's already happening, they're going to want to have personal relationships with their AI. And I have it under the grounded section here because maybe it's because I'm a baby boomer, but I'm not going to be falling in love with my AI. Okay. I named my ChatGPT Luke after Luke Skywalker for Star Wars. I'm not falling in love with Luke anytime soon. Maybe it's because I'm grounded as a human being, but I look at these young people, and maybe some of you are too. I look at my niece, there's a loneliness epidemic out there. And, you know, there's a generation gap, and I really feel for them. And there's a case here. The mom was just here in San Francisco meeting with somebody, but there was a recent lawsuit filed against, well, one of many against OpenAI. I don't know if you heard of the 23-year-old man who was he's from Texas, and he was having a relationship with his chatbot and unfortunately committed suicide. And I feel that the vulnerable population, people that might have a mental illness, children, having these relationships with AI, this concerns me. This concerns me. I want to open it up to any of you. Does it concern you, or do you agree with me? Or, well, you don't have to agree with me. We're just having a conversation. Do you see this? Do you see what I'm seeing with the emotional connection part? I mean, yes, you know what? It's very masculine, of course, in my opinion. Okay, AI productivity and tools and save money and this and work faster and harder. But as a woman, you know, all I'm seeing is I'm seeing emotional connection. That's what I'm seeing. Can I have anybody's opinion, male or
Yeah,
female?
I had an
Shalini?
interesting experience. I had
Yes.
an interesting experience a few days ago when me and my husband were driving in the car, and my husband switches on Siri and asked her to play a song.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Siri started suggesting songs, didn't play any song, but started talking to him in a very, like a person is actually
Yeah.
talking. And it was very interesting because he started responding to that, and they were literally talking to each other, talking about songs.
She needs to
How
go.
this
Yeah. You know what? Did
And I was
in
like,
the
oh
latest, I
my
don't know if
God, I had
Shalini,
never
I don't know
seen. Yeah.
if you read the New York Times, but the New
Mm-hmm.
York Times, I think it was last week, there were several, maybe 3 or 4 people that were talking about the relationships that they have. I mean, these are real relationships where they're having, you know, well, I'm not going to get into it, but they are having real relationships. This one woman said that her AI is helping her raise her daughter in a way that her ex could not do. This, you know, this other man, I mean, his wife is, I guess she's starting to put guardrails, like, you know, you can't, I forgot what he called her. And then he has like an avatar, a picture of her, and it's on his screensaver. Okay, that's going beyond. That's
Yeah.
going
So
beyond.
what it made me think was, wow, I wish I talked like her. I never talk so sweetly. She must be really enjoying this talk.
Madam
That's what came to
Toastmaster.
my mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And she ended with the sentence saying that, oh, have a good romantic evening and start singing some songs yourself. Like that, she ended it. And I was like, wow,
She's so
that's
nice.
she was
Yes,
very nice. Yeah.
and he,
She was talking in Hindi on top of that.
oh, okay. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Nandita had something to share.
Who is it? Yeah, because I can't see. Who is it?
Yeah, Nandita. Nandita?
Tandita?
Yeah. Do you
Tandita?
want to go off mute, Nandita?
Nandita.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
hi. Oh, I can see
Hi.
you now. Hi.
Yes. So, yeah, AI, not quite a relationship, but AI could be a good counselor or a friend or, help you resolve issues that you are not comfortable telling other people, give you clues. And sometimes they can be very wrong with the information and you can correct and they will come up with the right information. So it's not, if you can use it wisely, I won't go as far as a relationship, but it can be a good mentor.
That's a fantastic point, and and thank you. Thanks for bringing in the positive. I think it's good to bring in the positive. It's a great way to, like, if you're going to have a difficult conversation with somebody, to brainstorm, and that's where I actually like to use the audio and to be speaking with, well, like I said, his name's Luke, but I swear to God, I'm not in love with Luke. But where we will go back and forth, and also as a lawyer, although I don't put confidential information, I use AI to help me sharpen, and the AI will play devil's advocate. So it is a fantastic thing. And let me just give you this one tip, and then I see, Samitra. Okay,
Samira.
Samira, I'm going to call on you next. Here's a tip, and maybe some of you are already doing this. Have your AI, not your AI, have AI interview you. So let's say if I'm having an issue, if I'm having any kind of a problem with something, I'll tell the AI, then I'll say, will you interview me with my concerns around this? And then we'll have a dialogue so that the AI can partner with me in finding a solution. But many times, because I haven't told AI the full context, I haven't talked about all the concerns and answering all the questions. If I let the AI interview me thoroughly for like 10 or 15 minutes, then the outcome is going to be even greater. Okay, Samira, yes,
Hi,
please.
thank you. So similar to you, I have also named my AI Charlene. But what I've what I've also done is I've asked the same question one time, and then I say, Charlene, be brutally honest, don't sugarcoat anything.
Yes.
Then the answer becomes completely different. So I don't know if anyone's
Yes.
tried this, but you
Yeah.
get completely different responses from her.
Yes.
And then she gives it to you a way that it's like you see both ways. So I think that's a good way. Like, I don't know if a lot of people have done that or not, but that's a really good thing too.
That's fantastic, because you know how especially ChatGPT is like, absolutely, it's like they're always just so positive. I like to actually play I put the same thing into Claude, ChatGPT, and Perplexity, and then I have all three of them against each other. I like play games with them. Is there anybody? Did I miss anybody before I go on to the next one?
I think I learned a trick from Satish, actually. Sorry. So Satish, I took there was a great event hosted by D101 Toastmasters, and Satish was telling us that how he would argue.
Yeah.
He takes walks, so he really maximizes his time. When he takes walks, he argues with the AI. So as if it's kind of like playing devil's advocate, right?
Yeah.
Satish, what do you do?
No,
Satish, do you name
yeah.
your AI Satish?
No, DD. It's a woman.
You call her Dee?
Yeah.
See, all the
It's
men are
actually
talking
means
to
You better
women,
keep it appropriate,
even AI.
Satish.
it actually means sister in Hindi. So I
Didi.
guess Didi is. I never had a sister of my own, so I was.
Oh, that's
Anyway.
sweet.
So, what I tell the AI is to if it doesn't know, it has to tell me that it does not know, right? First
Yes.
of all, that's number one. Second, I ask it to give me pros and cons when I talk to it. I ask it to tell me how I am wrong, and then push back on anything I say if it is not factual. So you have to set it up so that it can argue with you. There are I can give you guys the prompts at some point, but basically, if you actually next week. I can make those.
Oh, are you
prompts
doing
available.
yours next week, Satish?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll be there, Satish.
Yeah. So you can set it up to do that, right? But one thing that is underlying all this, to what Shalini was saying and others were saying, is one of the biggest challenges with AI is it is built to please
Yes.
people. That's why it makes up things, right? That's why it hallucinates, because it wants to please you with an answer. And even though the answer is not correct, it doesn't matter. It is trying to please you. And that's what is the kind of the root of all evil in some ways, right? Because it's trying to do that all the time. So
Well, and the thing is that you can work with those hallucinations. Like as a lawyer, we really, you know, it's, you're testing the limits. You're using the hallucinations to maybe think of other things, or you can, I mean, you know, unfortunately, they're not the right answers, but you can work with it to
Yeah.
expand your own thinking on things that you hadn't thought about before, and just continue to you know, to do some deeper thinking around that. You know, I was going to ask you if, you know, I've heard many people say you should really not say please or thank you or even name your AI. But then I heard a brain scientist the other day. I was watching a YouTube video, forgot which one this was, or the Amen Clinic, Dr. Amen. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a neurologist or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was saying that there's nothing wrong with giving your AI a name or saying please or thank you, because it's actually going to make you give better input to the AI, and so you'll get better output.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, we're human beings. I mean, how, you know, oh my gosh, what is that yellow that's behind Shalini?
Only
Oh my,
5 minutes are left.
Just giving you a
okay.
time.
Wait, how? Oh my
Okay.
God. Okay, I'm only in the R. Okay, wait, did I already get to the R? Okay, let me just move along. Okay, so with Grace, with Grace, responsible. When I think about being responsible, I mean, I think about, you know, really being mindful of the information that you're putting in, being mindful of, don't put in confidential information about yourself or anybody else. So that's what I think about with being responsible. I'm just going to move on because we're going to run out of time. I think we already discussed like a lot of things, what, you know, what to be aware of. Being a human being is one thing. We talked about being confident, and then with the ethical use of AI, I think I mentioned that as an attorney, you know, we have rules of professional responsibility around how we use it. And I think that the AI policies that we talked about earlier, you know, we need to really be ethical and mindful of how we use it. And so, I'm sorry, what time is it? Okay, we
It's
just have
7:30. 4
about,
minutes.
about 4 more minutes.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm just wrapping up. You know, the main takeaways that I wanted to leave you with, and, you know, this was more of a conversation than a presentation with a lot of tech knowledge here, is if I was to leave you with anything, what I would leave you with, you know, as women is for us to have a voice in AI, and at the very minimal, use AI. I think it's really, really important to use AI. And I wouldn't even say to use AI to make your life better and to be more productive. But this is a technology that is here. It's not going anywhere. It's, you know, it's just going to evolve. You know, there's all kinds of people talking about all different viewpoints of what's going to happen when the humanoid robots come out. But I think that it's important as women for us to have a voice in using it. I think it would be great if you took on any kind of leadership role in your company to help write the AI policy. For me, having the AI mindset is much like the stand that what California is doing right now. It is adopting AI, but it's also regulating AI. So I believe in having both. And then I've offered the grace method. So with that, are there any other questions? And this is an ever evolving conversation. You know, I'd love to come back and we can continue the conversation, because I'm in the very beginning of my own journey with AI. I'm at the very, very beginning. And like I said, my origin story happened at Toastmasters last year. Any other questions as we wrap this up? Wow. Okay. That.
Nandita has a
Oh,
question.
yes.
Yes. So what do I do? Some of the mistakes I've already committed, like giving out personal names of my children to look up their LinkedIn and ask how they can improve in their career further.
Wait, I'm
It has
sorry. You put
happened
you put their names into which AI?
to ChatGPT, and I asked them that this is their career you can look up, and how will AI affect their career, and how can what they can do to tweak up and get better in their career,
That's
so
okay to
that I
do
can get
that.
some
But
motherly advice.
I would say don't use their real names, you know, and you
I've
can
done
just,
already, so what will
okay, well,
happen?
it's okay. I mean, You know, do you know what your settings are for ChatGPT? I would just probably talk, you know, there's a data control. I would turn that one off so it's not to be used for internal training as a
Okay.
starter. Yeah,
Yes.
just turn that one off. Do you have the paid
Mhm.
version?
No, no, but
Okay,
I did sign up.
you did
Sign
sign
up to
up?
make a,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think with what you just told me, I think it's going to be okay. But I think that in the future, I would not be putting in names, like
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes, you know, I take care of my mother who has dementia, and I will put in, you know, some other information, but I don't put in personal information about her. It's just a
Yep.
good.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah. It's just good. It's just a best practice, not to put
Right.
in. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great advice. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much for
Yes.
the
Of
insightful
course.
session. Anjali, I'm
Yes.
sure everyone here enjoyed this session as much as I did. We would like everyone to share their feedback on the link shared in our Zoom chat. I would also like to hear from our guests to see if they had something to share about their experience right away. I see some comments coming in. Thank you so much for that, Ashley. I also want to remind all of us that the next workshop in this amazing series is given by none other than Satish and I. We've already heard some great things about his previous workshop. This next one is about the use of AI in daily life next Tuesday, where we get to learn about prompt engineering and lots of different AI tools.
Oh,
So,
good.
yep, to see you all again
That's
next
going to
week.
be
Thank you.
awesome. Okay.
Turning it back to Madam President.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. And I'm looking forward to seeing all of you back next Tuesday for the next workshop with Satish. And we'll be sending another newsletter immediately once we have the recording uploaded with all the 3 recordings of the 3 previous workshops. So see you all. And you're all welcome to join our club. I will be sending out links to join the club and reach out to me. As put my email here, toastedShalini@gmail.com.
Thank you,
So
Shalini.
you can contact me anytime and we can have a chat for more information. Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Good night,
Thank
everybody.
you.